Hey there guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to this channel. I am super happy to be here today because I bring you a very interesting video. Not only because I want to do that, but also because I have the support of these beautiful people, Alessis, who, as you know, gave me what I consider to be the best electronic drum kit on the market right now, the Alessis Strata. Today I'm going to explain you the routine that I use every single day in order to make sure that the overall skills are sharp. In order to do that, I got a bunch of exercises. A bunch of them are about the bass drum, but as you know, I also like to incorporate some hand technique as well, because it's more interesting to practice a bunch of things together than only just one. So I'm going to keep it super short. I'm not going to be talking much. As you know, I know nothing about music. I learned by watching people and trying to understand, so I'm going to make sure that I break everything down the way it is supposed to be, but I'm not going to be explaining in detail what I'm doing, because to be honest, I got no idea what I'm doing. That being said, this routine has 4 stages. I'm going to explain each and every one of them individually, and in the end of the video we will play everything together. So this routine works for everybody. This is not an advanced routine. This is a routine that everybody can do, and it's only going to be more difficult or less difficult if you play it faster or slower. So I encourage each and every one of you to try it. And in order for you to do that, I will use 3 tempos: 120, 150, 180. I'll explain more on the way. I started using exercise number 1 as a response to one of the exercises that a world-class drummer called Thomas Lang uses. He calls it the great equalizer, because it is important for you to be able to play the same things with the right side of your body than you are able to do with the left side. In order to do that, he created a very simple exercise, alternating singles between hands and feet and separating both of the limbs. And it is actually interesting, because I've seen so many cases where people are able to play very fast double bass drumming, but whenever you try to isolate that dynamic into one leg only, it doesn't work, because you only learn with that kind of balance where both of your legs are involved, and that is a problem that you don't want to have. In order to avoid that problem, it is interesting that every exercise that you practice with both of your feet separately, so that you can play individually equally as good. That being said, it's a super simple exercise. 5 minutes it's going to take you. We are going to play triplets and we are going to play 16th notes. So to learn it, play triplet with your hands, play 16th notes with your hands, and then you just change the right hand to the right feet. And later you will do the same thing with the left feet. So instead of being taga 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 taga, it's going to be taga 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 ta. And later, of course, 16th notes, taga 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 ta. Later you do the exact same thing with the left feet. Simple as of course, you're leading with your right hand on the right or wherever you want. You can play this wherever the you want. Once you listen to it, you will understand it. So let's see how this would sound at 120 BPMs. Let's go with this. Oh, no, tres, hey. Okay, so as you can see, it is super simple, but it's not the complexity that makes it interesting. It is the concept, and the concept is that you must be able to do the same thing with your right part of the body than you are with the left part of the body. In order to do that, you add one single simple exercise into your routine, and it's going to change your life. So now that you already memorized the whole exercise, and of course you got the transcription, please, let's see how it sounds at 150 BPMs, just in case you can play it, you can go for it. Let's go. Oh, no, tres, hey. Okay, so that for me would be the intermediate level. Some drummers are going to be comfortable playing at 150 BPMs, and some drummers may want more. For those kind of drummers, take it to the next level. Right now we are going to play this exact same exercise at 180 BPMs, and that's where I'm going to leave it, But of course, take it farther if you can. The important thing is the exercise. Once you know the exercise, use it however you want at any speed you want, even if we're talking of 60 BPMs or 600 BPMs if you are Riccardo Merlini. Let's go with it. 1, 2, 3, e! Okay, so that was the first exercise of this whole routine. Now we need to move to the second exercise, which is super simple. A single gallop, a f***ing gallop. You get that, right? That is very simple, but gallops are super interesting. They sound like this. But if you isolated your hands, you will realize that you are playing double strokes. It's basically a double stroke, but you don't feel it like a double stroke because, well, it's not as fast. It's not sounding like... It's sounding more like ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. But in fact, you are actually applying two strokes. That's the interesting part about a gallop. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And it is a super nice exercise, not only because it is a beat that is often used on a lot of different genres, but also because, as I told you, it's an interesting way to start practicing doubles in a simple and effective way, the way that I like. And of course, since it's an uneven group of notes, it goes right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So we pick up the same concept that we were working on exercise number 1, right? And we are working on both sides equally, and that is super important. That being said, I don't think anyone is going to have any problem with this. Again, I cannot describe what I'm doing, but I know you will get it. Let's see how this would sound. 120, let's go with it. 1, 2, 3, 8. Super simple, right? I'm not even changing the leading hand, I'm keeping it on the right, everything is nice, everything is beautiful. So, again, this would be an intermediate level. If you're happy with it, good. But I would recommend you to try to avoid flams and try to take care of the form before moving to faster tempos. The goal is to do it right, not to do it fast, okay? That being said, let's see how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 8. Okay, if you're able to do this and you are bored, of course, you can take it to the next level. Again, I would recommend you to keep an eye on the flams. It is super nasty when there are flams between the snare and the bass drum, so try to look for a nice form. And of course, try not to lose your balance. You are playing uneven patterns, your whole body is moving. Be careful. Balance is super tricky, but that is exactly why we are playing this exercise, because we need to work on the balance, and we need to work on the doubles, and we need to work on both concepts at the same time on both of our legs. So let's go with the gallop at 180. Come on, guys. 1, 2, 3, 8. Okay, so believe it or not, it may look super simple, but we are taking care of things that are super fundamental. Working on both sides of the body at the same time equally. Being able to change from one pattern to the other, starting with your right, starting with your left, without losing your balance. Trying to avoid flams, trying to practice clean double strokes with our feet. A lot of important things. Bass drum is not only about do. It's not. And if you only practice that, you are going to feel like shit in a lot of different musical scenarios. And that's why we need to go forward with exercise number 3. Now, on exercise number 3, I like to incorporate my hand technique as well. Exercise number 3 is going to serve as a bridge between the two super simple, super easy exercises that we played before and the last exercise, which of course is going to be 16th notes. Now we need to connect that, and we need to do it on a gradual way in order for us not to get hurt, not to get injured. This is just practice. It could be a Sunday morning for you. We don't need to smoke crack, right? So in order to change from one exercise to the other properly, we are going to play triplets with our feet. Linear triplets, okay? Of course, it will be harder if you're playing it faster, it will be easier if you're playing it slower, but there is always a but. Let's work on our hands, shall we? Because if we do this and we don't work on our hands are going to be dead. And we need fast hands, you know why, right? Everybody wants them, so let's practice them. Whatever you are playing with your feet, you will be playing with one of your hands. So if you're doing your left hand is going to be doing and since we need to practice on both of the sides at the same time, we are going to change the leading hand and we are going to do the same fucking thing with the other part of the body. I'm sorry. So it goes like this. That's simple. The idea came to me when I was like 14 years old. I watched Luke Holland, one of the best drummers right now and ever. Big shout out to Luke, amazing guy. I was watching one of his videos where he was doing a Skrillex cover and there is a little fill in the middle. And I was like, dude, that is cool, but not only is cool, it is actually super useful to practice. So I grabbed that and I started using it on my daily practice. And now it is a must because it allows me to practice my hand technique while I'm also practicing my feet technique. And not only that, but it also works on both of the sides of my body at the same time. It is a skill that you will use on every single fucking blast beat ever. It serves as a bridge between the easy shit and the more complicated. And we all need that in our lives. So that being said, let's see how this would sound at 120. Of course, at 120, probably no finger technique. It's pretty slow, but it is still super important and we all need to start somewhere. Let's go with it. Okay, as you can see, it doesn't make much sense. We are playing at 120, no finger technique at all, but still, we are working on our feet. It is good. Just fucking practice. If you're a beginner, what do you expect? We start that way. In order to get better, what do? We increase the speed, slowly, and making sure that we only increase if we are doing it properly. So if you are doing it properly, come on, let's go with 150 BPMs. Let's go with it. Oh, no, play, hey. Okay, so that was 150, it starts to make sense. You can begin to see how finger technique begins to appear. I know I'm not explaining finger technique on this video, but to be honest, I need a whole video for that. So if you're interested in that or any technique that you see me using, let me know in the comments. I'm super open to doing this kind of stuff. That being said, if you want to keep improving your finger technique, you will realize that it is a technique that requires speed because you need the stick to rebound a lot in order for you to use your fingers. So let's add some speed, okay? Let's go with 180 BPMs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that was the triplet exercise, finger technique, both hands, both sides, you know the drill already. I've been talking about this for 3 exercises and now we move on to the last exercise, which is probably the exercise that you have all been doing. But take a look, for me, it's the last one. I don't give a about it. Super simple, 16 notes on our feet and regular groove with our hands. If that's all you practice, you will have problems. I'm telling you. So I would suggest that you try all the other exercises as well. But if you want to only practice that, I would recommend you to do it for a long period of time every single day, non-stop. If you want to practice 16th notes only on your daily life, good, but do it for half an hour every day. I guarantee you that way will bring you way more results than any other combination. So now let's see how 16th notes sound at 120 BPMs. Pretty simple. We all start somewhere. Let's go with it. 1, 2, 3, hey. Okay, so if you have played double bass before, that may be too easy for you. Let's move to 150. It's good. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, hey. Now, if you are an experienced player, you may be comfortable playing at a higher speed, so let's just see how this would sound at a higher tempo. 180 BPMs, let's go with it. 1, 2, 3, hey! Okay, now we know how each and every one of those exercises goes, and we also know why we're doing it. That is super important. I cannot even stretch it enough. It is important not to know what you should practice, but know why the you are practicing that. I see a lot of people practicing things and they got no fucking idea why they're doing it for. I explained you the reasons why I'm using these exercises and why I incorporated them to a hour every single day of my life forever. It's a lot of time, and you need to be super aware on how the fuck you are spending your time. So I would recommend you to wonder, why am I doing this? And if it does make sense, go for it. And if it doesn't, run away. And this applies to each and every one of the endeavors of your life. Philosophy aside, now we grab all the exercises and we play them together. I'm going to show you a simple example of what would happen if we did that and we played everything together. But of course, if you struggle on any of those exercises, I would recommend you that whenever you are creating the cycle, maybe you can dedicate way more repetitions to the side that you need to improve than to the side that you already know how to do. So use it wisely. Again, this is not the Bible. This is not the Quran. This is just a simple guide of what I do. You can do it your way. I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. And you are the one that needs to decide how long you do each and every one of the exercises, at what speed, and how the you do it. That being said, let's see how the whole routine would sound at 120 BPMs. Let's go with it. 1, 2, 3, hey. So that's how I connect the exercises. It's a little bit uncomfortable at first, you need to pay a lot of attention, but it is something that you can do. And it helps. And that would be the cycle that I play on a loop every single fucking day. While watching TV, let me add, because that's important. That will be my skill practice. That's something that I want to do each and every single day, no matter what I'm practicing, no matter what I'm recording, in order to keep my body awake. Now, of course, that would be the 120 BPMs example, and that's not the tempo that I use. So let's play it a little bit faster. 150. Let's go with it. 150 is already a pretty solid tempo. It's going to be challenging for the fingers. A lot of interesting songs use 150, 160 BPMs like Beast and the Harlot from Avenged Sevenfold. You can make sure that you are playing everything properly, but of course, a lot of people are going to be way more experienced, and that's why the gods created higher tempos. So now let's push it to 180, and there is a reason why I stopped at 180. This whole routine is like an average tempo routine. It's not going to hold up if you're playing 220 because, well, your hands are not going to play 120 on the triplet exercise. So this would be the routine that I would use up to 190. If you push it further, you need to remove the hand part unless you are, again, Riccardo Merlini. So if you're not Riccardo Merlini and you're like me, you want to improve and you want to be better than anyone else, let's see how this would sound at 180. Oh, no, hey. Okay guys, so that's basically it. I hope you liked it, and I really hope that I explained the reasons behind why I do this every single day and why I do believe on this as an exercise routine that you need to do every day, especially if you want your feet to be awake. I don't have that much problem with my hands. My hands are often sharp, my feet are not, and I think a lot of drummers have the same problem, and that's why I wanted to share this little routine with you. If you want me to do this with any technique that you've seen me do, gravity blast, the weird double thing in here, 2 sticks, whatever the you're interested in, please let me know in the comments. Whatever you want to learn, I'm more than happy to teach it, and even more now that I have the Strata, because it is super easy to teach with this thing. That being said, of course, you got all the merchandising available on my website, just in case you want to support. You even have signed drumsticks. They don't look like this, they are actually signed, which is, by the way, a pain in the ass. I signed like 2,000 the other day. Me. But anyways, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. Please comment. This video needs to work. If the teaching content does not work, I will not produce more, and that is a pity actually, because there are a lot of things that we could discuss. So just comment whatever you want, as many times as you want. Let's boost the algorithm together. I give you something for free and you comment a couple times and we are all happy. See you all guys soon, very soon, on the next video. Cheers, love you to death. Have a nice day.